Sitaram, and thank you for joining us. You are about to enjoy a satsang by Pandit Keshava Gosine. You can call or WhatsApp Pandit Keshava Gosine at 712-2180. Sitaram, and do enjoy this presentation.
Prem Sibolo Mahapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Sitaram everybody, and welcome to our second session of Devi Bhagwat Gyan Yagna. We're coming to you live from the Krsna SevaAshram here in Princestown, in Trinidad and Tobago, reaching you in your home or on your device, whether you're watching on your television set or on replay on Facebook or YouTube, whichever social media platform. It is our pleasure to bring to you the knowledge contained in our Hindu texts. Our purpose is so that as Sanatanis, as followers of Sanatan Dharma, we would understand our practices, our beliefs at a very personal level, one-on-one, where you are. You could learn and better your understanding, in this case of Devi. During this time where we are in the month of Jesht, we are highlighting those little tidbits, those little things that we sometimes take for granted. As a pundit, we are bombarded with questions and sometimes misconceptions. So, during this time, we wanted to share some knowledge. Yesterday, we did the first session focusing on Swadha Mata. And for the first time, for many of you, you would have heard the history of her. We know that when we're doing Havan, Swadha is there. But we did not know why. We did not know why at the end of the mantra rather than another place in the mantra. And we learned of her origin, her usage, and when a person does her worship, which you could do, what you are able to get. And we mentioned something very important yesterday, something called Sodas Matrika. If you've never heard of this type of puja, we're going to discuss it a little more as we go into our discourse today. Today we are going to hear of Swadha Devi, and we are going to learn about the benefits of doing her puja. Where was she utilized? How did she end up where she is? When you might go to a funeral, or you might go to a bhandara or a bar, and you might hear somebody say Swadha, Swadha, Swadha. And why do we use it? What is it to clarify? Just to take a muddy point and make it crystal clear. We are going to enter into Devi Bhagwat. We're referencing the second Samhita of Shiv Puran. And we have again, like yesterday, the Mastya Puran, where we are going to get more and more insight into this Devi. And as Lord Krishna does say in Bhagavad Gita, knowledge is that thing that will ferry you. It is the boat that will ferry you across the waters of this life. Yesterday I did start off by talking about how when you have bhakti, when you have devotion, when you have faith, when you have love for God, that is the way to Him. He says, chant my name. If you're eating, offer it, bless it to me, and then you will have blessing. In fact, in a verse he says, if you say your prayers, using my language, if you say your prayers over your food, if you offer the food to the fire, then it becomes as if Lord Vishnu had tasted and touched that food. It is blessed. But if you do not bless the food via the fire, if you don't bless or say a prayers or whatsoever over the food, that same food is as if you're eating sin. So one of the ways we bless food, for those of you, and I'm harping on this point to bring it up in today's satsang, is we have to know how to offer the food into the fire when we might have prayers, and I guess in the context of vegetarian clean food, what we are talking about here. Because there are many temple people, many cooks, many people who cook for prayers, many people who have catering business, and they want to offer to do it the traditional and the according to the Gita, the correct way, but they don't know how to do it. By the end of today's programming on media, on the channel, I will share the procedure, how to offer, how to bless the food when you have cooked the food. For things like you're going to share to John public, we might have a prayer or something along the lines, giving you the outline, the procedure, how to do it. If you don't see it, if you didn't get it, depending on where you are viewing, please reach out to me, send me a WhatsApp, and I'll get it to you. Definitely, if you are in the WhatsApp group with me, in the ashram, definitely that information is provided for you. So, for now, let us enter into our discourse, into today's session, and we begin with prayer. And at the inception of our satsang, our conversation tonight, I want to ask you, when somebody says Swadha, interview yourself, look at yourself, and tell me what you know. Well, Baba, I've heard the name. I went a relative funeral and I heard the pundit say Swadha, but I don't know the relevance. I don't know what it means. I don't know what's happening. And if that is your thought, or basically along that lines, today's discourse is for you, because you're going to learn something. For those of you that have wedding coming, you have Yagna coming up. Now COVID is a thing of the past, you have to say, more or less. And many people are getting back on track. They want to get back to their temple. They want to have their events good. But this is where Swadha and Swaha, amongst other Devis, have a little role to play. And today in Masti Puran, you're going to hear more about that. I invite you all to clasp your hands. We're going to begin with mantras as we invocate this afternoon. Om Gajananam Bhutaghanadi Sevitam Kapet Jambu
Palachar Bhakshita
Umasudam Sho
Kavinashkaraka
Namami Viganeshwara
Parapankajam
Sarvamangala Mangalye
Shive Sarvat Sadhike
Sharanye
Trayambike Gauri
Narayani
Namostute
Om Gurur Brahma
Gurur Vishnu
Gurur Devo
Maheshwara
Gurur Sakshat
Param Brahma
Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. At this time, we remember what our Gita says. Aham kratu aham yagna swadhaham aham ausadham mantro aham eva gyam aham agnid aham hutam. I am the Vedic ritual. I'm reading from chapter 9, verse 16. I am the yagya, or the sacrifice, the puja. I am Swadha, the offering, referencing Swaha as well. I am Ausadam. Ausadam means what we might say samagri, the herb that has, or the leaves like bay leaf, neem leaf. When you dip it in the ghee and you offer it into the fire, that has benefit. I'm giving the devatas something that has medicinal value, and because of that, karma says, how you give, so you get. I am the mantra, I am the ghee, the offering, ajyam. I am the agni, the literal fire, and the hutam is what is burnt, the bhasma, what is remaining after the fire pass across. In this way, and in other verses, Lord Krishna is showing that simple Agni Hotra, that simple Homa. In Trinidad we are saying Havan, but when you go in different parts of the world, there are different Havan that is being done when you have different sanskar, different prayers to be performed, and you have to do these different type of mantra, different type of sticks, different type of grains, and one day I'll go through that with you. But it is something that is being invocated to witness. The fire is there as the witness to your sanskar or to your sacrifice, your yagya, your puja, whatever. It could have 2 people in the audience, it could have 2,000 people. It makes no difference. But if that you have the best yagya, you have the biggest audience, the best food, the best decorator, the most popular pundit, the best musician, but you don't do that havan properly, you don't say the mantras properly, you don't offer the prescribed ingredients in the fire, well, you just wasted your time. Because there is no way you are going to get the optimum blessing by doing that. By being in some way deficient in your prayer. However, you could get the blessing, as we all learned. You could do the puja, and under COVID restrictions, you didn't have the crowd. Right now, where I'm recording, there is no audience. You are my audience. And we would still get the blessings. It is just that you are not here physically, but you are still practicing darshanam. Why is it potent that you look at television, see the yagya, or listen to the bhajan, and you can still get blessing? How does it work? Darshanam, one of the Navada Bhakti, meaning a form of devotion by looking at the prayer, by watching the satsang, by looking on and seeing the charity being done. A person gets the blessings via darshan as if they did the prayer. Isn't it normal? Isn't it known that our elders used to say, well, your pua, your kaki, in having puja, are going to see the prayers. They didn't do the puja. Older people knew what they were doing, and they would sit in the front row of the audience and witness whatever was going on. And in doing so, got blessings. Then the second type of bhakti that you are practicing right now is something called Shravanam. Shravanam is when you are listening, letting the sound of the sang, letting the song of the singing, the musician, listening to the sound, the intonation of the mantras penetrate your ear. Listening to the name of God, His pastimes, His glory, katha. By allowing it to reach your ear, you could be lying on your bed in home, you could be lying in the hospital bed, you could be looking at me on a train ride or coming home from work or wherever you may be, and just by listening to the discourse, the mantras, the samiran, the different parts of our discourse, a person is getting blessing as if they were sitting here in front of Pandit, doing the puja, doing everything. This is how you get your blessings. This is the relevance, and this is what makes it potent. But if I were doing the prayer with 1,000 people present, but I did not do the puja properly, it would never be the same. It would never yield the blessings that you want. For this reason, tonight, as you listen, please understand the value of understanding Swaha and Swadha Devi. Today, before we go forward, Lord Krishna showing you that He is that Devi called Swadha. It is Him. He is that entity, and we're going to hear more about that form. Please join your hands as we do Devi Bhagwat Sumiran. As we call upon that mother, wherever you may be, ask her in your own way, in your own language. Mother, may you please give me the understanding, give me the memory to listen and to remember what is about to disseminate from your text. Let's go together. Gauri Shambhu Gira Guru Govinda Ganapati Gang Sumire Vyasa Bhash Karta Devi Katha Prasann Jasu Deha Mati Mati Vishaya Stitita Jo Jagamat Matina Lekat Jahi Rupa Ko Mati Prirakadan Sakala Nigama Utu Samani Rileka Jagavan Matu Bhavani Ke Charana Namo Nama Sukhakan Taruna Chandra Shidhaya Mayakara Anukush Arupash Manda Hasta Yutta Bhakta Ke Kathata Savadukatras Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matri Rupena Samstita.
Namastasye.
Everybody at home, let's pray together.
Namastasye. Namastasye. Namo Namah.
Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Bhadrakali Rupena Samstita. Namastasye.
Namastasye. Namastasye. Namo Namah.
One more time. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita. Namastasye.
Namastasye.
Namastasye. Namo Namaha. Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Our discourse begins, I believe this means it's 44, chapter 44, book 9, the discourse on the history of Swadha Mata. Yesterday, Lord Vishnu was narrating to Narad Muni about Swaha, and now they're going to discuss the history of this form called Swadha. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatma
Namo Namah.
Narayanaya
Krishnaya Paramatma Namo Namah.
Shrunu Nada Vyakshmi Swadho Pakya Namuttamam Yaha Pitranam Cha Tripthakaram Shraddha Paladharmayaham Narayanaya
Krishnaya
Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Shri Krita Yadhav Pitragamana Sarja Jagatam Vidhaya Chaturascha Murti Matashve Shrishta Tejas Swarupini Narayanaya Krishnaya
Paramatmaye Namo Namah
Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaye Namo Namah. Principle of Indravan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. Lord Vishnu says to Narad Muni, please listen about the history of that one that is called Swadha. She is very pleasing to those that are called the Pitras. She is the one that allows the fruits, the offerings that are done in Shraddha to be distributed to those that are called Pitras. Before the creation, Brahma had made 7 types. We banta, and we use Pitras, my Pitras. I'm doing Pitra Puja, I'm doing Pitra offering, I'm doing this puja, this charity for my Pitras. But inside that word, under the umbrella of Pitras, there are 7 types. In the Vayu Puran, you will come across these terms being explained further. So for example, if your Baba, when you have Pitri Puja maybe in your temple or in your family, Baba will tell you, one day we'll discuss the parts of the hand. Why do we offer the Tarpan this way? Why do we offer Pushpanjali with the tip of the hand? But there's also Tarpan where we offer like Dev Tarpan or Dev Tarpan, Om Vishnu Tripyantam of the top here. But when you are offering on behalf of your Pitras, let's say you are offering on behalf of your father, your Aja, like what you might do in Nandi Mukshrad, you cup your hand to the right hand side and the offering is made this way. So you would be familiar to these offerings, regardless to who's the Pandit, depending on the mantra, depending on if you are offering to the different type of rishis, the munis, the devtas, Dev Tarpan, Rishi Tarpan, etc. going up the road. And then when you reach to Pitra Tarpan, this is where we reach and call, on behalf of my mother, I offer this Tripyantam. On behalf of my Nani, I offer this, and so you go. So when those things are being done, you will come across Barhi Swadha Pitaraya Tripyantam, Agnishvataha Pitaraya Tripyantam. Now we hear these words. For those of you that are familiar with what I'm saying, you hear it, but you don't know. I don't know what that means. The Pandit saying it so quick when we offer in the Tarpan is Agnishvataha Pitaraya Shripyantam, Sukalina Pitaraya Shripyantam, and you're going up the road. But at the very beginning of our discourse, I just want to explain just to touch on one type. Agnishvataha Pitaraya is that Pitra or group of Pitras for people that were once alive, people that were in your family that are linked to you, so they are your Pitras. They were following the householder lifestyle, normal, marry, have children, not to say a sadhu or living a life of a celibate, because of religious reasons, not that. The person is living a normal householder lifestyle. So they may not be vegetarian. They may drink all types of drinks. They would have children. And in this way, they are not accustomed to maintaining the Hawan. In yesterday's discourse, we touched on, in Rigved, they make reference to it. In the Manusmriti, they make reference to it now if we're talking about Shraddha, that there's a place, a subsection of 4 Pitras that have not gained the blessing of doing the act of Hawan, training themselves to maintain that fire, doing puja periodically in their day-to-day life. For this reason, you will hear people, we've spoken about lighting your diya at Sandhya time, you'll hear a little more about it today. And the Agnishvataha are those souls that had the time but chose not to do Havan. So, part of the reason why I'm giving these discourses is to invigorate you, the viewer, to get activated. That if once for the month, once for the week, this is why people go to their temple on a Sunday, to watch at least, to take part at least in Havan. If you can't do it at home, do it somewhere. I don't know how to do a Havan Pandit. So this is why people used to go to their village temple or their temple of choice, and they would have a Havan taking place in the Sunday morning service or the Thursday service or something. Why do we have Havan? This is why. By maintaining that fire at least on a regular interval or a regular basis, the person is saved from becoming what we call Agnishvataha Pitaraya, or becoming one of those pitris that are in a place or a group that did not maintain that Havan, did not do Homa, and now they may not get the liberation, they are not qualifying for that upward movement. So if you want to safeguard yourself from that type of trouble, then make sure and do your Havan. Please remember that. He says, when Agnishvataha, Varhishwara, Somapa, Pitaraya, and different subsections now of these Pitras were created, he says that when people do Shrad, when they do worship, when they offer Tarpan, when they do peace offering, or what we call Shanti Pat. Shanti Pat, all of these things are going to be transmitted, listen to his words, given over to the members of the person's Pitra, or those people that form the Kul. Sometimes when you're doing Havan, you will hear people say, Om, Kul, Dev, Shanti, Swaha. If it's like funeral time, they would say Swadha. The Kul is a word that represents your entire lineage, your family, those people linked to you. So there's a Devata sitting in charge of that Kul, and we want to make sure he's happy. When different type of prayer, because there are different type of Shrad, when these things are offered, allow the Pitras to benefit from it. Allow, when you hear from one good child, 7 generations are going to be uplifted. This is referencing to that. Because when you do Tarpan, complete Tarpan, 4 generations on your mother's side, 3 generations on your father's side get upliftment in one instance, in one conduct of puja. It is said that when the person is taking bath, chanting Gayatri mantra, the person is offering Tarpan, offering Pindadan, Sapindadan, doing Devata type puja, Sandhya puja 3 times for the day, helping people, praying for people, doing different type of brat, doing fasting on Mondays, Ekadasi, Trayodasi, Chaut, Panchmi. If the person is doing the Shashti Vrat, if the person is doing Nil Jal Vrat, let's say you miss Shivratri for whatever reason, but you want to get the blessings of it, fast every Monday on the Somvar or the Monday without water between sunrise and sunset. Don't drink any water, don't swallow any saliva, etc. And you will get that blessing. When these things are going to be done, not only is the individual doing the puja going to get the blessing, no, but when the person is doing it, let their entire, all their pitras, regardless of which box, whichever subset they are in, allow all of them to have blessings. When the person conducts devotional service to Devi, this is important. When the person is offering food to Devi and then sharing it, let Sri Hari Vishnu, who is very close to Mother, let he too be happy with the food that is being shared. And whatever is remaining when the food share, whatever little bit after your guests eat, then the host is going to eat, and there is where he gets the blessing. As if he had fed Mahavishnu to his mouth with whatever recipe, whatever delicacy the person might have. Whatever the person remains, however, impure, who does not take the opportunity to do any type of shroud, any type of gift giving, any type of good thing, such as lighting your diya, saying your prayers at the Sunday hour, if this person does not do any type of devotion, whilst yes, the members of the Pitras, their blessings flow, but what will flow when nothing is going to be done? Oh Narad, a person who is able to help others, such as a good child, as he helps other generation, is going to be fueled, he's going to be fed, he's going to be maintained by those same members of the generation. What does that mean between me and you? Watch anybody who does do Pitra worship. What is Pitra worship? Dear God, I would like to worship you, God, on behalf of my father, my Aja, my Aji, etc. I am not. In Gita, he says in same chapter 9, and I want to clarify this, verse 25, Yanti devrat devan pitran yanti pitra vrata. Those people who worship the Devatas, go to the Devatas. Those people who worship the Pitras, worship the Pitras, go to the Pitras. Those people who worship spirit, reach the spirit. Bhutani yanti, meaning this is not Pitra. Spirit mean roaming soul, unrested soul, people who don't have final rights, etc. But Pitras now, it have some people. This is not what I am talking about. I am talking about worshiping God on behalf of the people that passed away. Dear God, we have wedding coming up. Prabhu, we want to worship you in the Shaligram form. May you please reward my members of the family. Let everybody be happy. We having our little prayers, let everything go good. This is not that. There are some people who worship the dead. There are some people who will pray, Pa, you're gone, boy, but you're going to bless me. Send me the numbers for the lottery. You win the lottery by the grace of God. My Father, give me that. I don't know if you ever heard anybody say something like that. But blessings in our Dharma comes from God. It is the sattvic type of prayer. Whilst yes, there are things you could do, there is prayers such as that. I'm not saying no. It is not advisable to do it like that, because as it says in Gita very clear, that is where your end point. You prayed to that, you want that, you're going to achieve that. That is where you're going. And in it, it has suffering, because you don't have the liberation. You only have a cycle, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. And it sounds nice until you have to go through the pain constantly of dying, born. And if you think about it, you'll understand what I'm saying. Pitra worship talks about worshiping God, dear Lord. Today I offer you, for example, trying to put it for children to understand. Look, I have a flowers, Durga Mata. Please accept my flowers. But instead, because why this have value, mother? You see this part here, it have a lot of honey, it have a sweet scent in the flowers. Please accept it. But ma, today, don't give me any of the blessing, Please send it to my Aja, to my father, my whosoever. That is what we're talking about. He says, O Narad, when the person who does this, and I want you to remember what this stupid pundit is saying, watch anybody who does devoutly, correctly, Pitra worship. They remember Tarpan when it's Pitarpak, or what would they say, Pitrapak. They remember to take out food before Yagya. They offer, Gita part, they share, they give charity, whatsoever. Watch their life. Why is it they live, usually you see a better quality or a better standard of life? It isn't hard to understand that parents, dear God, if my son, my grandson, out of my whole family, they're watching from heaven, watch, He alone, He just make sure and pray and remember we and offer the flowers. God, if this parent, if this grandparent have value, if my words, my blessings, my pronouncements have value, dear God, bless that child to always, always, always have, so long as they have the comfort or the little extra change or the life, the quality of life, happiness in their marriage, etc. So they could be able to offer tarpan or puja. But if they have stress, they can't do it. They can't give charity when you yourself hungry. Dear God, bless them to always have. Chapter 17, verse 9. Pita hammasya jagato mata data pita maha. I am the father, I am the mother, I am the sustainer and the grandfather, Pitamaha, of this world. I am that sacred syllable Om. I am the Trived, Rig, Yajud, Samved. At this time, Atharva. I heard somebody said Atur. There's no thing as Atur Ved. It's Atharva Ved. Atharva Ved did not exist at that time. So when a person is like a cycle, when a person is doing these types of worship, the possibilities of gaining blessing in different ways, very possible, very realistic, but we have to know more. Lord Vishnu says to Narad, by the introduction of Shrad and the creation of these Pitras, Brahma left that place where all the Munis, all the Brahmanas, all of them were engaged now in trying out the new procedure, the Shrad, doing things to uplift those members of the Pitras. But the Pitras could not enjoy what was being set aside for them in the puja. What was being shared, what was being offered, they were not, it was as if their body was withering away. And they could not get what was supposed to be theirs. So, as the time is going, they see everything is happening, the food, the offerings, the puja, everything is happening. But none of it is reaching them. And they are very hungry, they are very sad. So they go where Brahma is sitting with his sons in the council of Brahma, where they discuss creation and what to do next. And they go and they inform him from beginning to end what had happened. Let's hear what happens in this slok. As he had listened to them, let's hear what Brahma does. Ram Sita Ram 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 Sita
Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram
Radhe Sham 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 Radhe Sham 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 Radhe Sham
Radhe Sham Radhe Sham Sham Sham
Brahma cha manasim kanyam ye sukrit je tu manoharam rupaye van saptanam shat chandrani bhana namya vidya vidyavatim gunavati mati rupayatim Radhe Sham 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 Radhe Sham 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 Radhe Sham Radhe Sham Radhe Sham 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 Mujhe prema ka amrit पिला दो प्रभु मुझे प्रेम की अमृत पिला दे प्रभु मुझे प्रेम की अमृत पिला दो प्रभु मुझे प्रेम की अमृत पिला दो प्रभु मुझे प्रेम के अमृत पिला दो प्रभु सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम
राम
सीता राम राम राम। प्रेम से बोलो श्री सीता माता की जय। Join your hands as we chant the Bij mantras to invocate Swadha Mata. As Brahma closed his eyes and he concentrated his mind upon Devi, Mother is about to appear for the first time. Hari Om Bhurabhuva Swadhaye Namaha Swadhamavyami Stapyami Kavya Madaya Satatam Pitrabhyo Ya Prachayatu Pitralok Chitam Devam Swadha Mahayami Saitam Namami Om Pitrabhya Swadhaye Nama Pita Mahabhya Swadhayebhyo Nama Om Akshano Pitra Mimanta Dhanta Pitaro Tirtha Tarpanortah Pitaro Shundha Dhavanam Pitra Swadhaye Nama Om Hring Klim Swadha Divyai Namaha Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Brahma from his mind created a daughter full of youth, having a wonderful face. Yesterday when we were listening to Swaha Devi, she is called Sham Sundari because she is beautiful, but she has a blue complexion, something similar to Lord Krishna. This one, she is beautiful, but she has the complexion of a full moon. It was as if 100 moon had embodied in this Devi and stood standing in front of Brahma. That lady, when she stood there, all the people around in the council bowed to her. This lady, who her body was adorned with all forms of white gems or diamond or crystals. Crystals is usually offered to her when people are doing or anointing her body. This form was pure, sattvic, ready to grant boons, auspicious, and that form of the Prakriti, remember we mentioned that yesterday, the unseen, unformed Devi had taken form. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita
Namastasye 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 Namo Namah.
Vishuddhyanam prakitite ramsham sanstitatam vardam shubham swadhamidham cha sudantim lakshmi lakshana suyantaham. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye Namastasye
Namastasye Namo Namah.
Shatpadya padanyastu padapadam cha Shri Bhratim palim pitran padma asam padajanam palaluchanam no ya Devi sarvabhuteshu ya Devi sarvabhuteshu shakti rupena samstita namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai Sharanam. Her face was clearly beaming with the brightness of her smile. Her teeth were beautiful. Her body showed signs of auspiciousness, as if Lakshmi had incarnated that goddess of wealth and prosperity. It was as if she was standing there. That person was standing in lotus flowers, and she was gifted to those pitras that were standing there. Brahma said, I give this daughter over to you, and may she be the delivery service that would take what is offered, where it is offered, and deliver it to all the pitras. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Know that her name is Swadha. Know that she is born from my lineage, Brahma. And in this way, when another name for Swadha is Tushti. We are doing some puja, and again I talked about it yesterday with the Sodas Matrika puja, which happens when we are doing the Gita part, which is associated with Bhandara, 1 year, however you want to call it. They do the Devi's worship in different forms, so that she must be Shanti. Do you know about that? We're going to hear in a little application of this Swadha form. If somebody says, brother, sister, I see you had wonderful yag at your home. You had great crowds, great people. But I saw by the Bedi a little triangle. And in the triangle had plenty little flag. Could you tell me what that is about? What that is for? I really don't know. My Baba tell me to do it, and I the answer. We're going to hear a little bit about that. But for now, whenever, Pitras, Tushti is that ability, it means contentment. That when a person does this Devi's puja, when they call her into their home, this is a little hint. I want you to listen to this and remember it. When a person does Agnihotra or Homa or Havan and they call Swadha Devi, please come and sit in my home, please bless my home. Let that place be filled with the nature of Tushti or contentment, fulfillment. Let it be as if you appreciate what you have. For those people that are married and they are bounded to a spouse that is never satisfied, can never be appreciative of what they have, here comes an answer for you. When you have children that are resenting the choices parents made, you didn't send me to do medicine, you didn't send me to do violin, you didn't send me to learn swimming. Babe, that is all the money I had to make do. Sometimes there are children that are never contented and they never understand the hardships that parents go through to make the children's life as normal as possible. And if you are in a position like that, this is where you use this Swadha Mata for this application of fulfillment of that contentment within the mind and heart of another person. So you want the person to get away from greed, jealousy. You know, Parvati up the road have a real nice bucket. You could apply that as you wish. I am looking at my neighbor and I'm seeing my neighbor has a nice bucket. I wish I had a bucket like that. I wish I had a puppy. I wish I had a boyfriend. I wish I had a car like that. In your home, when you do Hawan, this is one of the things you are praying for. Contentment. Because from envy, from jealousy, breeds enmity, and you go down a different path. You are pulling yourself away from the divine, and you may not realize it until it's too late. Whenever there are going to be offerings to the Pitras, allow the mantra, allow the offering to be ending in her name, Swadha, and the allocation that will be given with her name, by my words as Brahma is speaking, everything is going to be sent. It is going to be delivered via her efforts to the Pitras, regardless to which group, Agnishvataha, Somapa, whichever type, whichever quality. Understand that this is not Swaha or Pitras. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Nama Swaha Shashta Devadane Pitradhana Swadhaye Smritam Sarvatra Dhakshana Shathaye Hantam Yagyamidam Shinamyaha Narayanaya Krishnaya Oh Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. Understand the difference in their role. Swaha is great, she is laudable. She is when there are offerings for the Devatas. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha, Om Brahmdevaya Namah Swaha, Om Vishwadevaya Namah Swaha. You are basically saying, I am putting it here for these Devatas, and Swaha Mata comes and she will carry it where it has to go for the Devatas. But don't touch what is being offered under the name of Swaha. That is not for you. But when the commendable name Swadha is chanted, where those types of offerings are being done, then all the Pitras are going to be able to benefit. So, Om Sarva Pitra Swadha. Swadha Mata could come take that and carry it where it has to go. Depending on the nature of the Shraddha that is being done. It is only when Swadha is chanted at the end or the root of the mantra, then that offering is allocated to Shanti all a person's Pitras. In both cases, Dakshina, that Devi, is essential. Without her, all sacrifice becomes useless, worthless. We will discuss more of that in our next session. The Pitras, the Devatas, all of them worshipped Swadha Devi and chanted her name with prayer. They chanted her name and gained the blessings. Devadhyayascha santushta paripurnam manurataham vipradhayascha pitaraha swadha devi varnacha narayanaya krishnaya narayanaya krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. All of them stood, hands clasped, and they prayed to her that, Mother, may you bless us with contentment, may you bless us with our desires to be fulfilled. And they called, collectively they called on her. And all of them gained the smile, the rust, the happiness of this Devi, Swadha Devi. It was pleasing to all. And to all those that would hear of this discourse, contentment, fulfillment, prosperity is theirs as well. O Narad, tell me what again you want to hear. And he asked him more. Narad Muni ready to go. He says, O Prabhu, O knower of all the Ved, O great one, please tell me the method to worship Swadha. Tell me, what did they say? I want to know what mantra you're saying. They said a mantra. You're saying they used a prayer. What prayer? I have heard Swadha being called upon in puja, but I didn't know there was a secret prayer. Tell me about that prayer. Lord Vishnu recites for him. Dhyanam chastavam brahman vedha dhyakatam sarva mangalam sarva jansi cha katham gyantu mi cha si vridhaye cha narayanaya krishnaya paramatmaya namo namah narayanaya krishnaya Paramatmaya namo namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya namo namah. He says, Oh Narad, you are relentless. You want to know now that secret? He says, listen for the enhancement of knowledge and propagation of knowledge of all those that will listen. Good is going to come from it. When they did the puja for Swadha Mata, it was dark night. It was the dark half of the month. Remember what I'm saying? Write it down. The 13th, 13th Tithi. So if you have the full moon starting, and as the moon is getting, as time is passing, the moon is going to lose luster after the full moon. It is now the dark half. So check from the full moon, check 1, 2, according to the Patrak or the lunar dates, and not 24 hours always. There could be more, there could be less. So pay attention to that. But the 13th Tithi in the dark half of the month Magh, in that time when the person does Shraddh, don't matter what mistake people make, when they were alive, the person is able to get great amount of help, additional help, additional shanti, peacefulness is possible. So sometimes you might hear people talking about, Baba, I've seen something in the house. I don't know what that is, but it's frightening me. Baba, I'm sleeping as a lady on the bed and things are touching me inappropriately. I'm getting marks on my body. These things are not unreal. This is not somebody else's religion. What do you think when people are talking about in, I forget the name of the book right now, Kalika Upapuran, I most believe, or the Swadha Upapuran, where Brahma creates this thing called Pisach. You hear about it in Hanuman Chalisa, you'll hear about it in Bajrang Ban, in different parts when you read it. Panchmukh Hanuman Kavach also touches on it, that these things were created to carry about the works, the punishment works of God. And they come as shadows to touch and to take the energy of a person. They interfere, spirits, workers of the night. These things, they are there. This is why you hear Bhuta, Preta, Nikata, Nahi Awe. In Bajrang Ban, it says the person who just chants the name or the verses of the Bajrang Ban, those type of entities have to go. When a person does Shraddh on this day, and when they are doing the Havan, they make special offerings to Swadha Mata on the Havan Kund. So if you ever see people doing tikka, perfume, sindoor, saffron, etc. on the Havan Kund itself, just like how we put the leaf for the fire, but now you're doing puja for Swadha Mata. Without worshipping her, a havan is incomplete. Likewise, swaha. This is why when you're saying the mantra, like if you follow the procedure that I will send you, you will see they will say Agni Devaya Nama Swadha or Swaha Mata Avahanam Samarpyami. And in simple way, it have more complex mantras, like what we chanted for Swadha Devi. You are asking her to assist you, and the soul, sometimes like somebody commits suicide or they die in such a way, they may not or not supposed to get the blessing or the offerings that are being done unless you do it in the particular time doing the puja for Swadha Mata. Then the most cursed, lost soul, lost spirit, whatever form they are in, they would be able to access the goodness of or the punyam coming from Tarpan, Shrad, etc. Brahmano manasim kanyam shravata sustritayato yauvanam pujave pitra devanam shradhanam paladha Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. They stood there and they chanted the mantra Brahmano Manasi Kanya. Manasi means mind, Brahma. In the thoughts of Brahma, from the thoughts of Brahma came the girl Kanya, the daughter Swadha. O Devi Swadha, may you, mind-born daughter of Brahma, always be young, always be worshipped by the Pitras and those that want to benefit the Pitras. May you bless me. This is the soul. This is the person that did so much of, let me say, bad things, sin, that they cannot easily get help. This person is begging through her help, let me achieve, let me access the fruits of the Shrad. Iti divata shilyam cha hatava mangale gata yatam. If a person realizing that they have such problem in their family, where things are not rested, what to do? You draw the mandal for Agni on the ground. So let's say this is the ground. And in it you will draw the 7 tongues of Agni. Basically we just say the 7 petal, right? And they put it in a circle. So this drawing, you put Swaha Mata in the middle of the 7. So you'll have 3 petal on the side, 3 petal on the side, and Swadha Mata sits there. Swaha Mata usually sits on the top. And you do their worship. How do you do the worship? Before the Havan started, so there's no Havan kun for now. You put the gut, let me just say for we normal language, a kalsa. On top of that leaf where you involve Swadha Mata, put a shaligram inside and doing the puja using the beej mantra for Swadha. Please write it down, remember it. Om, Hring, Shring, Kling, Swadha, Divya Inama. And you do the worship for what? The shaligram, but you're calling Swadha Mata. There is no murti for Swadha Mata. Reciting the hymns, the prayers, the puja. Stotranam Shrunu Munishya Brahmaputra Vishyavadatam Sarvavangcha Pradhanrinam Brahmanyata Krita Pura. O son of Brahma, Narad, O best of Munis, skilled in here, and I describe to you now the stotra that is chanted when that prayer is going to be done. Lord Vishnu begins, Swadha Charan Mantra No Tirtha Snanye Bhavenaha Muchayate Sarva Pape Bhyo Vachape Palam Labde Swadha 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 Ye Devata Yadhivatra Smare payatam Shradhayasya palam nyoti Balishwar tarpanayascha Shradahula Swadha stotro Yashrunuti samahitama Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatma Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatma Namo Namah Swadha Swadha Swadhyeye Vatra Dhyata Ya Paitantara Pratiyatam Vinatam Sa Labheta Sadhave Putra Guna Nanvatam Yaha Pitranam Prana Tulya Tvam Jui Jivan Rupini Shridhya Grishta Traidevascha Shradhidhanat Palapradha Yenatana Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah Swadha Mata Ki Jai Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. If a person should call upon her using the stotras, Swadha, Swadha, Swadha and other mantras, if you call her in your mind, the person that is suffering because they are being starved of the benefits of the Shraddha, that soul is going to find peace. For those people that do Balidan, animal sacrifice, and it is causing trouble in your home because the whatever they used to feed, I'm saying whatever, I'm not familiar with these types of puja, but there are people who do it, and when the family discontinue it, you have problems in that lineage. When a person having had the history of doing Balidan, using animal sacrifice, I mean, when a person worships her, when the individuals sitting down to do the Shanti part and they listen with devotion at the time when Shraddha is being done, and they chant the prayer to Swadha Mata, all forms of peace is possible. Everything that is unrested will become filled with contentment, Shanti, happiness, and they will be able to move off. Let there be no doubt about this, that the fruit of such Shraddha, when this Swadha Mata mantra is chanted for a period of time, 3 times for the day, that whatever the person is praying for, it will obediently listen to such an individual and move off. If there be any type of lost soul, lost spirit, roaming spirit, things that do work in the night, things that work at different places, unclean, unrested places, those things will obediently listen to the Yajman and move out of their lives. O Swadhe, you are dear to the Pitras. You are their vital breath. Because of you, when the Brahmanas and others are doing vrat and doing different type of Shraddha, the offerings that are being done are going to reach to bring peace and happiness to those Pitras. Mother, we bow to you. When this lady, having done her work, Mother, you who complete all vows, you who are eternal, you who by nature brings merit, because when you take what is offered and you carry it to the Pitras and you allow all the Pitras in the family to benefit, what will happen? Dear God, if I, as so-and-so, grandfather, father, mother, whatsoever is the relationship, as I said before, Mother, Lord Krishna, if I have any value, I lift my hand and I bless my son, my daughter-in-law, my son-in-law, my daughter, because of what they have done. because of what was brought by Swadha Mata, the benefit of the charity, the benefit of the dan, the different types of things you give in dan. In Mastya Puran, you will hear about the benefit of giving till, ghee, different type of metal in charity. You who caused this swasti, this blessing, this goodness, Mother, may you allow that flow of blessings from the pitras to the person and their family. May you allow a person to get blessings. Parents don't bless only when they're alive. Parents don't bless only when life is within the body. But when they move off and they go on. And a person, as a Sanatanist, this is our belief, and we do the different type of yagya and we do it correctly. There is where you find things start to go as if I am a lucky person. How did I overcome that sickness? How did I inherit this gift? How did I win the lottery? How did these things happen? By the blessings. When Krishna says in Gita chapter 9, I am the father, I am the mother, I am the grandfather, I am everything. I am everything. And you bring peace to them in that form. The energy that lives in the heart and mind of every individual that you are coming from, what we call the pitras, when they are shanti, that blessing is flow. And Swadha Mata is such that when you do the puja for the shaligram on the lips of the Agni, on that mandal, on that drawing, and then you do the havan, meaning you put the havan kun on that part where the drawing is, and you do the worship, and I'm summarizing that puja for you, and you do the havan, more and more blessings, more and more benefit. Swadha Devi could be invocated every day. That day that I spoke about, the Trayodasi day in the dark half of the month of Magh, is a special day. It comes like Durga Mata. A special day could be Durga Ashtami, but we worship her for the 9 days of the Navratri. On any Friday, we could call Durga Mata. In the same way, this day is a very special day for Swadha. But if you wish, when you're doing your Havan, Swaha Devi, Swadha Devi, and you're doing the puja and you're using the mantra that I called out for you, more and more contentment for those people in the house, for those that have gone on, for the village, for the Gram Devta, the Kul Devta, the Ish Devta, all these individuals that work around you to make the quality of life that you have, using these little tools, these little ebbs of information, you would be able to help yourself. In this way, the Lord of creation created this Devi for success. No sooner did Brahma, sitting in that council in Brahmlok, reciting this stotra, did the Brahmanas, did the Munis start to practice it, but this prayer is practiced, that stotra, those verses, Swadha, Swadha, Swadhe, this is chanted silently. Because she is a Devi, because she was born from the mind, Manas Puja is practiced. So you say the prayer mentally. Because of the medium, I'm saying, I'm teaching, I'm talking out aloud. But when you're doing Swadha Puja and you're chanting the stotra, not the mantra, the stotra, you do it mentally. And the contentment, the peace, the happiness that we're praying for starts internally first. And then when you become a vessel filled of peace, peace of mind, calmness. In Bhagwat Gita, we were talking in our last edition of Yagna. He says, how can you have peace? How can you have happiness if you don't have peace of mind? If you become like a boat in this life, a boat on the ocean's water then, in this life. And when the wave pushes so, you go so. And when the wave pushes so, you go so. How could you be at peace? How could you be happy? And this is where you use your knowledge, now that you are listening to something like this, to bring stability. You take control of your life and your destiny, using your prayer, so that when there is an unhappiness, when there is envy, when there is jealousy, when there is a problem, use your prayer to bring back happiness, to bring back the stability in your life. And with that peace of mind, when you wake up and you don't have anything chewing at your brain or stealing your peace of mind, that day you will be a happy person. Many people want to be happy, but if we would only follow our dharma, it lays it out very simple, very clean for us to follow. The person who recites this prayer similarly, silently, Swadha Mata will appear to that person, and that person would be given the happiness, the joy, the contentment that they are looking for. He who hears this discourse, this prayer with devotion and attention, wanting to learn more, wanting to know more, this stotra of Swadha gives the family of such a person, first of all sorts of punyam, fruits of just listening to the prayer. And the person who themselves listening to this type of discourse, this person, their life becomes one of happiness because of the peace of mind, because of the shanti, because of the blessings of Swadha Mata. Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. And now, as you listen to Swadha discourse, now we know where she comes from. Let's go one step further. A morsel, short discourse, nothing long, that shows you the application of Swadha. And where is she sitting when you're doing your puja? Beside the fire. Did she have a role? Today as a Pandit, I'm telling you, when we have to install a lingam takes about 3 days to do the prayers, if you're doing it properly. You do your Shraddha. First day you do the puja for the ground where the lingam is going to stand. And then yes, the third day you do the puja for the lingam itself. When you're doing the prayer for the ground, Devi, different forms of Devi, have to sit on that ground before that lingam comes there. If that lingam is going to be stapan, if the lingam is going to have different energies. In the earth where it is going to stand under the murti, they would usually dig a little hole. I don't want to say a cup, but like if your hand cup out some dirt, and there they'll put different type of metal, mercury, silver, different types of things go there. But it is done with prayer. Now we turn to chapter 179 in the Mastya Puran. And when you are reading, when I was researching Swadha Devi, they make reference to her in Shiv Puran, they make reference to her in Vayu Puran, but we could only fit so much in our discourse. But in Gyan Yagna, you have to walk away feeling, wow, I didn't know that. That was so much information. I am now so alert and aware that there's so much more. My objective is that you must feel there is so much more to this one Devi. I always say Swadha, Swadha, Swadha. There are pundits looking on right now that are learning as well, and I encourage it, Babas. Take the information, take what I am teaching and go and teach your people so that they would know better. That is the purpose. That is why we're doing what we're doing. So that we could share the information freely. Please, I encourage all of you, share the satsang, share it with your neighbors, your friends, your family, wherever they are in this world, so that we could help people who need help. Please remember that. We enter into this short discourse as Suji and Sanak, Rishi and all the others in the Naimisharanya feel they're sitting and they wanted to hear now. The Rishi says, oh Suji, oh Guruji, please, you have explained so much to us, but now tell us. Give us the discourse in Shiv Puran. It talks about Andhaka and how he ended up doing praschit type tapasya on the shul, the Trishul of Lord Shiva, and how he became a blessed person. We have heard that Andhaka was once good, then he became bad, then he came back good. We heard that there are forms of Devi that was created by him, by Mahadev, in a discourse that people use till today. Guruji, please explain a little bit about this. This confuses us. This is making us very, very interested, intrigued in hearing this discourse. Please tell us. We enter into the words of Sadashiva as he is ready to battle Andhaka. Andhaka, long story short, he is a person that did puja, a lot of puja, blessed person. But he ends up having to face that Mahadev, Mahakaleshwar. That Mahakal is about to enter into the battlefield. Let's hear what happens. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, 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 Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Tasyapi Dev Devasya Shrunu Shanke Karma Chotam Asi Avantiye Natanam Bhinya Sanja Ye Chota Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam
Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Sakadi Chitaye Devanam, Parvataye Sahitayam Prabhum, Kotiyanam Tada Drishta, Andaka Andheyatam, Jai Bhole
Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Bhole
Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Bhole
Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Bhole
Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Samba Sada
Shiva Tab Sharanam,
Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Suji says, Andaka was a great bhakt, a great devotee, and he knew great amount of beads, mantra, powerful stotra. He had learnt it, internalized it, and he opened by practicing, he opened the beads. So he was very powerful. He was protected by these prayers. And he became a scourge. He became a pollutant amongst mankind, because he now used this prayer for harm and hindrance. And when it had come to the point, now it is time, all the devatas are under suffrage. They are going through hardship because he is stopping people from offering into the Havan. He is interfering with their prayer, so the devatas, the pitras cannot get anything. Dan cannot be given, so the person cannot get upliftment, the person cannot do charity. Nobody is able to move. No one is able to do. He only wants to control everything. And when it was time for Lord Shiva to become activated, the person goes because they are never contented. A mark of sinful people is a person who has an insatiable appetite for power, for money, influence. The person cannot give up. They cannot resign. They cannot retire. They cannot walk away from something. But they become like a slave. They want more. They are greedy. They want more. And Andaka is such a person. What does he wish to do? What caused Nandi to pick up the sank and blow in such a way that rocked Kailash Parbat? Seated on that Kailash Parbat, Kailash Pati and Parvati Mata, as husband and wife, were enjoying each other company, closely sitting, talking with love to one another. And Andaka got it in his head that he was lusting behind Parvati and he wanted to take that goddess away from Shiva. And when he crossed that line, when he went to take her, according to Mastya Discourse, it has more detail in Shipran, the third eye of Shiva opened. Mahadev reached for that Trishul. See it in your mind. And Nandi blew that shank and spoke that, oh, my Lord, my Mahakal is going to meet you on the battlefield of Avanti. Oh, Andaka, prepare yourself. Andakasur, you have crossed the line. Lord Shiva threw the Pashupat Vrat at him. And when in that battle, when he threw the Pashupat Vrat, the Pashupat, not the Vrat, the weapon, my mistake, it cut him. It cut him very bad. And blood started to gush out, profusely blood. Blood was all over, but he laughed. He did not cry, he did not die, he did not suffer. Andaka continues to laugh and he says, yes, Prabhu, hit me again. And from the blood, just as how we hear in Navratri discourse, from the blood comes clones. It started to solidify and copies of Andaka started to form. And when they were destroyed by Lord Shiva now, realizing that the enemy is in front of him and with ferocity he throws weapons after weapons, he's releasing them. More cuts, more blood, more demons are forming up. And in front of him from the one Andaka has millions of demons now laughing at him. And Andaka is more and more laughing. They are laughing. Hit me, Prabhu, hit me, Prabhu, hit me, Prabhu. He's taunting him. And what does Shiv Baba do? He closed his eyes and he concentrated on his wife. He concentrated on that divine mother, that Adi Shakti. And he says, Devi, you who are the Prakriti, you who are the unseen energy, you who are the knower of all, give me the solution to this problem. Come to me now. And when he did that, listen to what happens. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, Shakti Rupena Samstita, Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. Maheshwari Tatha Brahmani Kumari Malini Tatha Swadha Swaha Sauchike Naitya Tatha Sauri Soumya Shivi Duti Chamundi Tatha Varuniyatam Varahi Narasinghi Vaishnavi Chandi Satanandana Bhavani Petal Chahini Bhagavini Meltalini Chinta Bala Mastya Chinamasta Chintayini Mitra Nanda Sunanda Bhalayashini Revati Soho Sahasrarakta Pali Paisach Ye Adhini Kali Mahakali Bhadrakali Tathayascha Sabhaga Dhubhaga Ye Karlini Tatha Ya Devi
Sarvabhuteshu.
Come on everybody, we're nearly finished.
Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita.
Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. Mother appeared, Sri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Mother appeared in many forms. This is where those forms, Matangi, Vachana Kali, Maheshwari first, the first form, and she spread her body in different forms. Swadha Mata was called here. Varuni, Varahi, Narsinghi, Vaishnavi, Chandika, Satananda, Bhagananda, and many names called. And they all appeared. And what did they do? Without telling him anything, they started to suck up that blood. The power that he gained in his prayer, the loophole was, if that blood moves, if it is not there, you are not going to be reborn. And that terrible Andaka fought with Lord Shiva, and the Devi is drying it up. For this reason, when people have different health ailments, when people have not bleeding problem, not limited to that only, but when people clotting factor are low, when people have their platelet count is low and it is constantly dropping, these names, these forms of Devi are used. They became satisfied, seeing the different forms of Lord Shiva taking form, manifest, as he spread himself and he fought and destroyed. And one by one, every one of those Andaka had to disappear because there was no blood left on the ground for him to reshape and reform. Mother in her various form drank that field dry. And when the final moment for Andaka came, he was pierced in his body by that Trishul. But in his mind, he prayed to Shiva. In his last act, he was able to pray to him. And Lord Shiva gives him Ganesh Sattva, that you would become the attendant in chief. Granted him Shami Pir in the company of Lord Shiva. He remains there forever as his attendant. Today I'm reading again from Mastya Puran. There are different little pieces of information in Shiv Puran concerning the same discourse. He says, "O Lord, by your grace, I will be together with you." And Lord Shiva took that Jeev. When he turns around now to the mothers, Prabhu, by your grace we are formed, we are ready, and we will eat. Pay attention. We will eat and we will destroy. If it is the Devatas, if it is the demons, if it is mankind, if it is all the realms, tell us where to go and attack. The same Devis we worship, the same God. Please understand the concept. In Hinduism, there is no devil. There is no, in TV we see the good influence, the bad influence on the person's shoulder. Good comes from God, bad comes from the devil. Hinduism don't have that. Hinduism have a Devi, a mother, a God. When you as the parent have a child, on the day the child do good job, babe, look cake, look ice cream, you achieve something, I celebrate you. Let the child do something bad. And the right thinking parent then becomes a disciplinarian. This mother is taking forms that the same person, the blessed person, the same fella, the same Andaka in previous discourse is the exemplar when it comes to prayers. And we all go through that. We have a time when we pray very good. We learn. You hear people. I was a vegetarian for 10 years, and then something happened. And I stopped doing prayers, or I stopped going to that temple. I stopped following that pujari. I don't speak to my guru anymore for whatever reason. And people fall off. So the same person who is praying could change. It happens. But when you walk away from goodness, when you walk away from that lady, it has room for punishment. And I hope you remember what I'm saying. She says, I will bring trouble. Why do we do Matrika Puja? The same lady, when she's happy, let's say Shashti form, she's happy, children will be healthy, great things. You'll get children. When she's happy, miscarriage, children could die. You have parents doing funeral for children. Tushti, things are very plentiful, contentment, happy in the home. No, she's not happy, then the opposite is going to happen. You live in a home where there's a lot of agar, bugger, vike kind of living, because nobody in the home is ever pleased or happy or grateful. It's like you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. And where does some of the problems that you and I have, where does it come from? The same Devi. She is there, but she wants you to do better in a different way. You want to get through with the job. You want more money. Okay, let me see what you're going to do. I'll put a little test, a little sickness, a little trouble. Will you hold to your prayers? Or will you walk away from your prayers? Do you have faith? Or as the sign of trouble, will you break your faith? Swadha Devi is one of them that is here that has a purpose. But does the person remember how to do Devi Puja? When you ask that mother, when you see people putting their Lapsyam Sahari at a minimum on the earth, when you have Durga Puja, when you hear somebody say, I have to do my Durga Puja, I want to Shanti Mother. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, Mother, may you Shanti, may you please happy with my home, with my family. Please understand why we do what we do. That 64 mothers, Chausat Yogni mother in the triangle, when you have Yag, he tells them, Lord Shiva turns around and he says, undoubtedly you have to protect creation. Divert your mind from causing dreadful harm to the same creation you are guarding. But where people disrespect Shiva, where people disregard the Shaligram, where people break the rules, if there is prayer, if you have Yagya and you do not follow the rules, it is the 64 ladies in that triangle that will come to cause havoc in your place. Somebody come in the prayers and they want to eat KFC. In the prayers, okay. You know, we like to say that consequence. These are the people elected to carry out the consequence, to implement the punishment. When the person doing the yagya is calling on that 64, what are they saying? These many names that we just listed and more. Mother, please, we identify you by one of the flag. Please come sit down here. We have little parsad, we take out in a katura, and we have little gifts. You want to do your puja? Please bless me to get through the yag. When you happy, we will get through without any controversy, and nobody will fall down, die, and nobody will get caught, nobody will, the food will burn, everybody will come and be comfortable, everything will pass good. You are asking the mother permission to do what you have to do. Furthermore, when there is transgression against good people, when people neglect their dharma, when people neglect to do the correct thing, lead a campaign, lead a battle, lead trouble in the most horrific way in those places. If you ever had the unfortunate experience of people doing prayers, but you know they are fast properly, or they did something haphazard, dokedam, and you see trouble come after, understand it is forms like this from this moment that brings about it. So sometimes, well, not sometimes, every time you have yag, you do Gita part, you take out food, you shanti the mother in the matrika form. Mother, we want you to be happy, so that when we have the yag and everybody's coming, it wouldn't have accident, nobody will get burned, nobody will get caught, nobody dies. Bless us to get through the yag. When all the mothers had eaten up everything, Lord Shiva became very afraid, because they were created in this destructive form, and they would bring a great amount of destruction to anywhere they reside unprotected, like they say, corralled. He calls upon Narsingh Baba, that form of Lord Vishnu, and he appears very powerful, very roaring, very hard, his fangs, his claws very sharp, rumbling like a crowd, very agitated like a cloud, agitated, causing fear amongst those Devis as they pulled back when he started to roar. That form, very dreadful, looking as if he was the Meru mountain itself. Narsingh appears in front of Lord Shiva and he says, "Oh Shiva Baba, tell me what it is." And Lord Shiva prays to him to calm him down, to shanti him down. Namastute Jagannatha Narsingha Purvadva Daityanata Shrishta Purna Khya Shakti Virajitaha Tata Sakala Sakalam Hima Pindala Vegraha Namastute Padmanabhya Tvayam Surashakra Jagaguruha Kalpatam Madhyam Bodham Viprundam Sheshwam Surya Koti Samaprabhanyam Shri Narsingh Devaya Bhyo Namaha. O Mahavishnu, Lord of Lords, I bow to you, O you who handsome one with the claws still dyed red from the blood of Hiranyakashipu, your navel where the lotus flower Padmanabhya, the one who has the lotus growing out of his navel, O source and superiority force of this universe, I bow to you, O you who give sound to the thundering clouds. I bow to you. May you hear my prayer, Prabhu. How can I become creator and destroyer at the same time? I created these forms, these goddesses. May they remain with you. And whenever they are called upon, whenever help is needed, may you send them forward. May you keep them and may you protect them. May you guide them in the form of the Ashtamatrika, the Saptamatrika, the Gritamatrika, different groupings of Devis. In all these, Lord Vishnu listens to the prayer of Lord Shiva and he bowed his head. And with the eyes so powerful, looks to them and he says, O Matrika, you who wish to destroy this world, may you take refuge in my abode as Narsingh. And this is where the consort of that Narsingh became the different Jogini. Where do you hear this term Jogini? You will hear these forms is also when you have the baby and the mother have to face a direction. The Jogini chakra is in the Bhavani Shankar Patra, and it is there the Baba goes say face north, northeast, depending on the time of the day that you have to bathe. Those things are real as well. May they be with you. And Narsingh says, may you come and stay with me. As men and animals protect their offspring from time to time in this creation, when they are called upon, may you give them protection, protect your children. Mother, in these forms, as Lord Shiva is handing them over to Narsingh Baba, come upon the earth, come into their lives and give them the help. Mother, be peaceful, be shanti, do not cause trouble. When there are offerings during the daytime, in the nighttime, when different dan is being given, when guardians, when different times of protection is being made and called upon, may you be there to energize such things. In the form of Rudra, I call upon you, Mahadevi, to always be the consort of Narsingh Baba. And when people need upliftment from all forms of tamasic, what we say, voodoo, black magic, them type of attack, those type of uchan and types of prayer where spirit work. You know, in that same verse in Gita, those people who pray to spirit, go to the spirit. There are people who do cemetery work. There are people who consign the soul from in the grave to attack the living, breathing person. When people have these type of enemy, when people have these type of problems, may they come to you in that form of Suksha Devi, and may you help them by removing even those type of blocks, enmity. Mother, may you always answer the prayer of your children when they call upon you, just as Swadha Mata lifts the Pitras, Swaha Mata lifts the Devatas. May you, O Matrika Mata, may you always protect your children, consort of Narsingh. May you accept my bidding. When Lord Shiva, half man, half woman form, he installed the Saptamatrika with him, that when you're doing Rudra Puja, the 7 mothers must be called. And the Sodas, the Chausat Yogini is attached to Narsingh Baba. And when you Shanti, that form of Lord Vishnu, together with those ladies, you would be able to do your Yagya, your Shrad, your prayer, your building, your project, whatever it might be, peacefully, regardless of what you are experiencing, you could overcome it. When I make the constant statement that there is a prayer, there is a mantra or a form to remedy any problem you may have, trust me, it is given in our text. It's just we have to find it, you have to read it, you have to know your dharma. The knowledge of your dharma then literally becomes a raft to ferry you over your problem, to cross your problem, to leave it behind and never have to deal with it again. Principle of Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Before we conclude, let's chant for Lord Shiva. Because of this moment, till today, devotees have a form that we worship in that triangle and other places where the Jogini is consulted, when different dates are used, when we are doing the bathing, when we are doing different moments in puja. All these are related to these ladies. Swadha Mata is one form. She is one of them. He Shiva Shankar Jai Kaileshwar Namah Shivaya Om Kailash Kinatha Har Har Shankar Namah Shivaya Om Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om Namah Shivaya Ahibhushana Shiva Gauri Nath Parama Sumangala Kashinath Parama Sumangala Kashinath Girijananda Paramananda Shamadeva Priya Ganganath Girijananda Paramananda Shamadeva Priya Ganganath Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om Namah Shivaya Ahibhushana Shiva Gauri Nath Parama Sumangala Kashinath Parama Sumangala Kashinath Girijananda Paramananda Shamadeva Priya Ganganath Shamadeva Priya Ganganath. All those Devis stood there and they bowed and they worshipped Lord Shiva for the force that he lifted that Pashupat weapon, that Trishul, and he did battle with that person, Andaka, and still gave him that blessing. Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om Namah Shivaya. May you and I be so blessed that although we make all the mistakes in this world, May we be like Andaka and be allowed the mercy of Sadashiva. May we get the blessings of Devi. May we be able to walk into his lok and remain there rather than suffer from sin day in, day out. May we be able to get that happiness, and by the blessing of Swaha, Swadha, and every other form of Devi, may that knowledge, may that divinity carry us from here to there. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Everybody, as we come to the end of our second session, as we conclude today, I hope you have learned something from the Devi Bhagwat, where we did the origination or the history of Swadha Mata. Then into Matsya Puran, where Swadha became one of the forms that was assimilated into the Matrika, that is used in places such as the Chausat Yogini Puja that you're accustomed with the different flags when Yagya and other type of prayer is being done. I wanted to share this information as we shared the different mantra that is used when you're doing Matrika Shanti Puja, Vrita Matrika Shanti Puja, etc. And we found the relevance in our Bhagavad Gita, our handbook as a Sanatanis. Today, as we conclude, I hope you wrote down your mantras. If you're watching it on repeat, I hope that this information brings help and clarity. If you want to get more information, please send me a message. If you're looking at this on YouTube, I encourage you all to subscribe to my channel and share the satsang with somebody. I hope you enjoyed the satsang, everybody. From us here at the ashram, thank you for letting us come into your home. And I hope that God's blessings walk with you in your day-to-day life. And I pray that that contentment that we talked about today, it infects the people that are around you, yourself as well, and give you that happiness that you need, that we all need. Let's all join together as we do final prayer, as we have come to the end of our satsang today. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva
Tvameva bandhu
Shasakha tvameva Tvameva vidya
Dravinam Tvameva
Tvameva sarvam
Mama Deva Deva
Tvameva sarvam
Mama Deva Deva.
Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Together everybody. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Pavana Sutta Hanuman Ki Jai. Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai. Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram everybody. Until tomorrow in our third session. Be good, say your prayers, keep safe. Sitaram.
Sitaram, and thank you for joining us. That was a very informative and beautiful satsang presented by Pandit Keshava Gosine. You can call or WhatsApp Panditji at 712-2180. Sitaram.